Alright battlers, welcome back to a brand new Toxic Cup video. We're going up against the #1 player in the United States of America. This is Pinellas Park's very own Ferg. Ferg is an awesome player and these are next level toxic strats. Let's get into it. For this video, I have two best of threes against Ferg. For game one, I'm leading that Hippowdon. I do have Golbat and then Drapion in the back. So here we see the Hippowdon lead against Heracross. Due to Hippowdon carrying Fire Fang here, this is generally favorable for the Hippowdon just by virtue of fast move damage. However, that Heracross still does have devastating charge attacks. You definitely don't want to get hit by a close combat or an earthquake here. So I do shield. After that defense drop from the close combat, just a couple more Fire Fangs are all that's needed to bring down the Heracross. Now, at this point, I don't want to lose switch advantage, but I'm really in a bad spot here with my Hippowdon. I do fire off the Body Slam against the Bibarel, and then I switch here into my Golbat, just because if there's a Trash Wormadam in the back, I really want Hippowdon there for it. So in comes that Trash Wormadam, just like I thought. Ferg makes a beautiful swap here to absorb the Poison Fang with his Trash Wormadam, and the challenge here is to see if I can get to that return. That return takes a lot of energy to get to, and these confusions are chunking away, but we are just barely able to do it. My goal here is that if this Trash Wormadam is weak enough, I can Fire Fang it down pretty quickly, and then I can just use that energy on the next Pokemon. So I don't have a great Bibarel counter here, and that's where I really get into trouble in this match. If you notice, battlers, this video isn't moving at 2x speed. I'm actually practicing for something I'm very excited for. I don't commentate normally on 1x speed videos, but I was asked to shoutcast the Orlando Regionals tournament on April 25th, so I'm trying to practice here with more normal speed, normal battle speed. So here we go with our Hippowdon, almost taking down that Trash Wormadam, but I have to bring in my Drapion here because Ferg makes a great switch into Bibarel, and I'm really in a tough spot here, battlers. There's not much I can do with my Drapion. I do have that Fell Stinger and Aqua Tail, but he already stored enough energy, so he's going to fire off one more Surf here, and I think this is all that's needed to bring down the Drapion, and it is. In comes Hippowdon, and the Water Gun will do it. Going right into game 3, I decided to lead Toxicroak. I do have my Bibarel, and my Drapion in the back. So for this game, I lead that Toxicroak into that Trash Wormadam. I have to get out of there immediately, and unfortunately for my team composition here, I only have one really strong counter to Trash Wormadam, which is Bibarel. So I'm going to come in here with my Drapion just to see if I can force a swap, but he does not switch, so he's not doing exactly what I wanted to do. Normally when battlers swap into a bad position like that, they counter with their hard counter to that Pokemon, but this time Ferg is just going to stay put. Drapion at this point, I'm just going to let it take this attack. Bug Buzz does a ton of damage. It is more effective to Drapion than Iron Head, but, you know, I'm just trying to chip away as much as possible. Here, another Aqua Tail, just trying to do maybe 20 or 30 points of damage. But it does get shielded, which is great. We take that first shield away from Ferg. He does have a ton of energy stored up, though, as he's able to confusion down the Drapion. I do have my Bibarel here. I'm definitely not going to bring in my Toxicroak, but I want to wait down that switch timer just in case when I bring in Bibarel, he's going to swap into something else. So he does make that swap into his Bibarel, and I bring in my Toxicroak. These counters are going to add up really quickly. Now, my hope here is to have some energy that I can use on the next Pokemon that comes in. You definitely want to give your Toxicroak a shield. Surf is not going to KO. You could probably take a Surf in the flat matchup here, but you definitely don't want to take a Hyper Fang. Hyper Fang does a ton of damage to Toxicroak. It is a really devastating neutral attack. I'm fully expecting the Wormadam to come back in, but instead it's Steelix. So in comes the Steelix here. Toxicroak is going to do good work here against Steelix, although we do have to watch out for that Crunch. Because Toxicroak is a fighting type, it will resist Crunch, but it's still such a great move in terms of damage that it will take a significant chunk out of Toxicroak. So here I'm trying to farm down the Steelix with enough energy for a charge move, but the confusion is just going to wipe us. Luckily, I do have my Bibarel here, and I'm just going to fly right under the radar here, trainers, not even using a shield. I'm just going to Water Gun down for the win. We are all tied up going into game 3. I lead Golbat. I do have my Hippowdon and Toxicroak in the back. So the issue with this team is that I have two Pokemon that are weak to Trash Wormadam, and he leads with it. So my hard counter to Trash Wormadam is in the back, and I bring it in, but he makes a beautiful fast swap into Bibarel here, and he's just going to work down my Hippowdon. So Now that he's lured out my hard counter to his Trash Wormadam and I have 2 Pokemon weak to confusion, you can probably tell how this match is going to go. This is not very good. Note to self, note to battlers, if you're going to bring a double poison team in the Toxic Cup, lead with your counter to whatever your opponent's poison counter is, whether that's Trash Wormadam or Shadow Executor or whatever it happens to be. You really need to be able to move around your Pokemon, otherwise you're going to get stuck in a situation like what we have here. So this Bibarel is going to fire up a charge move, and I'm going to shield up the Golbat here just to give myself a few more options, but I don't really think it matters too much. The Trash Wormadam's fast moves are going to take a huge chunk out of my Golbat. I'm trying to overfarm just a bit and then fire off the Poison Fang to deny him a second Surf, and it worked out perfectly for me. In comes that Trash Wormadam though, which I'm positive is coming out, and this is going to be really tough for us. I guess the only thing I can do here is try to hit return, but he does have 2 shields still. I do make the swap here into Toxicroak, just trying to get some damage off, and he does swap into Gliscor. So again, prolonging this battle a little bit, but it's not really that necessary. This Gliscor is running Wing Attack, so he's going to do decent chip damage to us here and there. He's going to actually fast move us down. So now it is Golbat versus Trash Wormadam and Gliscor with 2 shields. So I'm just going to let this attack through. This is pretty much GG's. Night Slash does a decent chunk of damage, but I go for the return here, just trying to see if he allows it through just for fun. And the return is going to go unshielded. Look at that. Taking down Gliscor, this match is closer than it really was. So next best of 3, I lead Bibarel. I have my Golbat and Toxicroak. We are trying to learn from our mistakes, battlers. Here we go with that counter to the counter, if you will, the counter to the poison type. So Bibarel is going to come in here against this Trash Wormadam. This is an IV dependent matchup, battlers. A lot of the time, if you have a 15 attack Trash Wormadam, you can win this matchup in the even shield scenarios just due to the virtue of your confusion damage. However, if you don't have a 15 attack Wormadam, it is really, really tough. So I'm just going to match shields here, just trying to do as much chip damage as I can with these water guns. He does fire off the Iron Head, which is slightly more energy efficient. Bug Buzz is going to do more damage, but Iron Head's going to save you. I'm not sure how much energy it is. If you know, let me know in the comments down below. He does shield up that second Surf, and at this point, I'm just going to match shields. I think a swap might be coming here to save his Trash Wormadam, but even though he's going to swap, it's very, very weak. Not really much to save there. So in comes the Bibarel. He's going to absorb my Surf, which is really, really clever. However, I do have my Toxicroak on this team. So I bring in Toxicroak here. No shield, so at this range, I need to be concerned about the Hyper Fang, and he actually gets to a charge move here. Let's see what it is. If it's Surf, I can survive. It's actually Surf, not a big deal. Toxicroak's going to hold on. Here, battlers, I have a very interesting opportunity to just fire off one counter because this Confusion is such a slow move. It's a 4-turn move. Counter's a 1-turn move. I could have just fired off a counter there, and I think I would have KO'd the Wormadam, but I go for my Dynamic Punch. That is my Spice moveset on Toxicroak that I've been playing around with. In comes Gliscor. And I do have a couple of good options here. I decided to bring in Golbat. I know that an Earthquake or a Night Slash won't do it. So at this point, battlers, we are in pretty comfortable position. We are in control of this match. He does fire up the Night Slash trying to get the boost, but he is cornered. I'm going to go here for the return, and we're going to see just how much raw damage this return actually does. Still loving return Golbat. Shout out to Shiny Hunter Ben for recommending it. Look at that. Jeez. Huge amount of damage there. This Gliscor is going to get off one more attack, though. Night Slash, it won't KO us. Wing Attack for the win. So we learned from our mistakes, battlers. Let's see what we can do with this game. I'm going to do the same team composition. Bibarel with Toxicroak and Golbat in the back. This Bibarel is going to encounter the Heracross, though. So he learned from his past mistake. I do go here right into my Toxicroak. My hardest counter for this is the Golbat, but out comes that Trash Wormadam. And this is why I love Dynamic Punch on Toxicroak. It does 66 damage to this Trash Wormadam. Going to take it down by half. So when you're countered here, or excuse me, cornered in a position here where your Toxicroak is getting countered by Trash Wormadam, the confusions really just eat you alive, and there's not much you can do. I love Dynamic Punch because it gives you a little bit of an out. If that Trash Wormadam is already weak, you can do some great damage. I think Mud Bomb only does 25 damage or so, so it's definitely not comparable. There, I think that was a mistake, letting that Bug Buzz through. I need to hold on to my Bibarel just a little while longer just to give myself options in this battle. So He's going to come back in here with his Heracross, and a few counters are going to take us down. This is not a good situation for us. If we have... the only way we can win this is if he has something that is very weak to Golbat in the back. He's going to fire off a charge move here. Nothing that Heracross can really do will really hurt Golbat, so I'm going to save both of my shields. In comes Bibarel. So this is a 2v2 shield situation. However, my health is so low at this point. These water guns are going to add up so quickly. There's not really much I can do. I'm actually going to try to double shield bait here with the poison fangs. Let's see if we can get that second shield, battlers. It's gonna be very close. We do get the second shield, so Ferg is definitely worried about that return. Can we get there? No, we can't. We actually, I think we overtap or we get killed by fast moves. Either way there. Going to the final match, I lead my Toxicroak. I do have Bibarel and Hippowdon in the back. So here comes Toxicroak facing off against Gliscor. This is not a great situation for us. That Gliscor's wing attacks are going to add up. I do swap here into my Hippowdon. So I'm trying to lure out that Bibarel so that I can counter it, but he's going to stay in for a couple more moments. In comes the Heracross. I'm going to go straight for the Earth Power here. So Earth Power is a great general move. You always want that defense drop if you can get it, but it does take a nice chunk out of this Heracross. And at this point, I debate what to do. I decide to shield my Hippowdon just so I can keep it around here. That close combat, again, is going to drop that Heracross's defense, and it is out for the count. So I don't think he has Bibarel on this team at this point because he didn't bring it in to counter my Hippowdon. But he's actually going to bring in his Gliscor again. So at this point, I'm expecting a Night Slash. Not going to shield my Hippowdon here because I do want to save my shields for my Bibarel. But we are able to get to a Body Slam, which is really, really great. This, if it lands, will do a significant amount of damage. I don't think it will KO, but it does get shielded. So we do take that first shield off of Ferg, but he farms up at least 4 wing attacks there. So we need to be very careful about an Earthquake here. So now that our Hippowdon has fallen, I'm going to bring in my Bibarel here, and I don't think he has time to bait here because his life is getting chipped down so quickly by the water gun. So there's the Earthquake I shield. Here comes Trash Wormadam. Now I have a win condition here, battlers. If I can sack swap my Toxicroak to absorb the charge move here, I can win it. But I did not realize that while I was using my water guns there, that Trash Wormadam got off a confusion, so that made it 4. I was going to swap right there, but he, thinking that he only fired off 3, but that was actually 4. So he does bring down my Bibarel. FP6 mentioned this. When you're fighting against... this is such a close game still. Our Toxicroak holds on, but he still does have a shield. I go here for the Mud Bomb, and I probably should have just tried to counter. But FP6 mentioned when you're fighting Wormadam, try to fire off your Surf around the 3rd water gun just so you can avoid that confusion damage sneaking in there. So, battlers, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I've been kind of on and off, a lot going on right now, but thank you so much for watching, and I will try to get another video to you very soon. Bye.